How's it feel? What's going on?
I don't know, man, but like we're in season 2 now.
How's it taste?
I don't know. It feels a lot like the first season, but just doesn't sound as shitty.
Oh, well, that's good. So when we go back and listen to the beginning of this season 2, I'm gonna give myself a little bit of advice because it'd be almost a year from now. So, Tyler, what I want you to do is stop talking to yourself. It's weird. It's creeping people out. You don't have to do it out loud. You could do it upstairs. That's fine. You could clean out the attic however you need to do it. But this right here is unacceptable.
You're listening to Season 2, Episode 3 of the Dank Swamp Rebellion featuring Kyle Crosby of Louisiana Dread.
This is our duty to change their perception. I say, men and women of the world, unite. We must never acquiesce, for it is together that we prevail.
I grew up on Bayou Lafourche, but my whole family's from Grand Isle, Louisiana. Been there since pretty much the island was founded, 1700s or so. But I mean, I was raised all on Bayou Lafourche. I graduated from South Lafourche 2008 and got into film not too long after college and just hit the ground running, went to LA, did that whole thing, came back. And I really got in touch with, the culture again down here because I realized what a gem it is really to be where we're from by living far away.
It's amazing how when you live abroad, especially, I couldn't see that, yes, maybe moving from Kansas to LA would be different, but it's not a culture shock like it would be for, say, a coon-ass from the bayou. And I feel like more often than not, people can move a lot of places, but as children living here, we don't absorb our culture, right? Because it's just what we're taught. And then you move away and you realize, man, I really miss some of those things that I grew up with and the people that I grew up with and the things that we were taught, because it is only here. You're not going to find that anywhere else.
Of course not. No, and it's just the culture and the stories we were told growing up that's just so vital to who we are. And I saw it when I was in LA, saw it, the process it took to get rid of the culture down here. And I saw what was happening, for the past century or so. Because, I mean, you look 100 years ago, 100 years in 1921, you had an entire state in the United States speaking English as their second, mostly third language, just
right
after French and Spanish. And that's our people. That's our grandparents.
Right.
That's included in that. Today, there's about 4% of people that speak French at all in Louisiana, whether that be first, second, third language, whichever.
Or even better, Cajun French.
Of course.
Because it's completely different than what they teach you in school.
Fraction of a fraction.
Right. Fraction of.
But yeah, I agree. And I hate that, that's our mission. Mm-hmm. Is we want a revival of Cajun culture, but we want it in a light that is in a positive way, not what Hollywood and what the media has been showing.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with, my grandpa spoke in broken Cajun French, mm-hmm. and he slurred a lot because he drank all the time. And yeah, there are those types of people, but, there's artistic and some of the best musicians around come from the bayous of South Louisiana, and there are people that go into acting. You don't realize how many people that that were your partner in high school that was in, I don't know, NCIS New Orleans or whatever it was. There's so many things that have come off the bayou that we don't get credit for. And for some reason, I feel like there's been a stigma, especially for people our age, that it used to be, where are you from? I'm from New Orleans. No, I'm not from New Orleans. I'm from Lockport, Louisiana. I'm
right.
Like, the bayou was 30 feet from my house where I caught perch every day after school. You know, I'm not from the city.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with being from the city, but I'm saying for a long time, we were taught that in order to get somewhere in life, you're not going to be taken seriously if you say you're a coon ass from the bayou. You have to say, you city folk. I'm from BR. I'm from NOLA. Mm-hmm. No, I'm from Lockport.
Right. And not even just in the arts and stuff. You got major athletes, people like Ed Reed, and these people are born and raised here, right? And then, but there's no mistake, like we were saying, how we look down upon when we go travel places and things like that. We're looked at as ignorant, you know? I mean, I've experienced it myself, personally. Every time I go somewhere, I'd speak to people in Los Angeles. I go on auditions, they'd say, okay, can you do it in like an American accent? You know, and I'm looking at them like, that was my accent, you know, trying to hide it. And it was just one of those things that I saw, and I'd always just heard, you know, that people, I saw it on, you know, I watched The Waterboy, I watched all this kind of stuff, and then people are coming up to me and quoting it, and I'm like, oh, yeah, funny, yeah, cool. It's funny, you know, but it's no mistake.
But they never could even get the accent down. They all sounded like they're from Alabama.
Right. Or the worst is like Georgia. Like they just recently had a show called The Act for with Gypsy Rose down the bay.
Right.
The old girl, what's her name? The lead actress, forget her name, Patricia Arquette. She gets the Emmy for that kind of stuff. Meanwhile, she sounds like she's from Savannah with molasses just sort of spilling out of your mouth. We don't talk like that.
And the funny thing is, people from the city don't even sound like that. They have more of a kind of a Boston, Chicago type thing, especially when you get to the North Shore. You'll hear, yeah, I'm from the North Shore, and they have that real draw going toward it. It's like nobody ever sounds like a hillbilly or a freaking redneck around here. I don't know what y'all think we are, you know.
It's easy to rope in, you know.
But our accent on this bayou, which I'm sorry, like we say, I ain't sorry, fuck y'all. Every other bayou is not the bayou. Bayou Lafourche is the bayou. You say you from the bayou, you from Bayou Lafourche.
Bayou Lafourche.
And our accent is a certain accent. And if you go through any parish in South Louisiana, from the Texas border to the Mississippi border along the Gulf Coast, you're going to see that change and draw. You're going to see different dialects. People can tell. I said it before. I went down to Wakeside, down in Grand Isle. Dude said, "Man, you from the bayou?" Yeah, bro. I could tell, man. He knew, you know. And you can that's something that they can hate it all they want, but you're not breeding it out of us. You're not gonna get your way.
If anything, you're bringing it out more, which is
because we're stubborn as shit.
Yeah. The thing is too about having all these really awesome, you know, Cajun guests is that I've gone through a lot of my life trying to phase out the accent. And always, as a kid, you were like, man, I don't want to sound like that. So I think we're getting closer to the point now where you could turn it on, especially when you're getting a little drunk.
But I think in some cases it should be phased out completely. Because if you one of them cats like, where's my boy Toby? Yeah. No, don't talk like that. I don't want to hear that shit, Nang.
But
that's my boy Toby over there. He's sitting on the wife Melody's lap, Bell. What is doing over there? Nobody wants to see that.
Go Tigers.
Hey, babe, come on over.
I mean, it's no, you know, mistake that's what they wanted to do. Like when I say they, I'm talking about your typical like Anglo-American type that was in, you know, in any type of legislative body in any instance, you know, because you have this assortment of a state that's not like you know, that's different than the average American, and how you beat that, you got to divide it. Mm-hmm. What they going to divide it by? Race.
Always number one.
So you got minority black Creole population in a majority African American school, and these minority white Creoles are our people in these majority Anglo American school, and they're shoved down that rhetoric that you better not speak that French. You know,
That's right.
That, hey, you're not an American unless you speak in English. So my grandpa has the same story yours does and yours does. When they spoke French in school, they were beaten, knee and rice until you speak in
Very
English.
effective.
Yeah. So they're not about to teach our parents how to do it.
Right.
No way. No way, because they were persecuted for it. So it wasn't until...
Because you can't control what you don't understand.
Of course.
So when they're sitting there and the French are trying to translate for them and the old coonasses are sitting around the fire making a stew and they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, they couldn't control that.
Yeah.
It sounds like my French a little bit, but I can't get past whatever the fuck's going on
He
here.
he said fuck stick and something else with beer. That's all I know.
Yeah.
And I mean, firsthand, that's exactly what happened whenever it was Christmas time and they wanted to tell you shit about, you got some presents coming, and my grandma and my mom's talking, and they talking completely in Cajun French, so I had to try and pick up on what some of these words meant if I wanted to figure out what the hell I was getting for Christmas.
Right.
So it's the exact same principle, except way worse. But yeah, you have to divide what you can't understand in order to control it, and unfortunately we get a lot of that, not just in dialect.
Right. And it was just that's one of the reasons why I developed Louisiana Dread, is to really promote the culture, the history, because every fucking movie I've ever seen that represents quote unquote Louisiana down here is grossly misrepresented.
So have you ever seen A Cajun Story?
Never seen A Cajun Story.
Okay, so this is a very old movie. I'd be lying if I told you what year it was. It was probably in the early 80s or late 70s. But it's pretty much, it's a representation of some people that are living in houseboats on the bayou, and they got, their pirogues, and they paddling up to the bait guy, and he gives you your bait and all, and it was really fucked up. But the whole moral of the story is that there was a guy who had Down syndrome, a coon-ass kid, whose name was Peemaw, and he raped and killed a girl because that's what we're only capable of thinking.
Yeah.
Literally the entire thing was framed because, of course, his uncles and his illiterate brothers and all this shit were all in on it, and they framed the kid. But never have I ever seen anything, you're right, that sheds an awesome light. Cajun justice in Houma. Right? What the fuck, man? Shelby the shit turtle in Covington. This dude's from Covington, people. That's not the swamp, okay?
No. That's
All right.
city slick and
He
shit.
is not a coon-ass.
No.
You're right.
Because coon-asses would not destroy the wetlands like that. We love our home, and we love that every single square foot of it that we have left, coastal erosion or not, we still love what we got, and we don't have much left. And this asshole's running through the swamp tearing up shit.
Yeah.
There's no real celebration of the culture, and I'll be fucking damn, man. This is exactly why we started the podcast in the first place, is because the swamp is where we're from, and we want to fucking celebrate that shit, and having guests like you on makes this even more real to us, because when we're having sessions without a guest, yeah, we're just, we're us. We're not really on an agenda specifically to shine light, but it always comes through. And it's always the same with every single guest too, that the Cajun culture is not only what we're trying to preserve, but we're celebrating it rather than putting it in the light that everyone's easily digesting. It's way more than what Hollywood decided to give you. And it's these stories, and it's all this back catalog that has never seen the light of day. I mean, you really think that we'll start a Cajun Culture Institute in India with our new fan base?
It's already started, baby. Let me tell you something to all you some bitches out there. If y'all not really too sure on if you like a Cajun or a coon-ass or not, you come down here, you let me make you some roti shrimp over rice, babe, and you gonna fucking be a Cajun hard to day. There ain't a motherfucker I know, even a vegan. A vegans or whatever, you come here, you eat that shrimps, Done, bro. Done. You gonna love it. There's no way. And let me ask you something, Mr. Crosby. Are you related anyway to Bill Cosby?
No, not even remotely.
Okay, we just wanted to clear that up. I didn't do a whole lot of research on that, but you know.
It's with an R.
Yeah.
Crosby.
Oh yeah, like yeah.
Crosby.
Yeah, like the ice cream. I understand, but yeah.
What?
Like the tugboat.
Yeah, tugboats.
The tugboat,
yeah,
but no relation to them. No.
But
the Crosby's on Grand Isle, Louisiana, all the way down there.
oh, I love the island, dude. I really do.
It's a fun time.
We go camping down there at Wakeside pretty often. My wife and I and Tyler and his old lady will come down there and chill with us. And when you get down there, it's a different type of freedom, even all through COVID. And I'm not saying it's right or it's wrong, you know, because we get crucified for every little stupid fucking thing we say with all these snowflakes running around. But walk in, like cashier's not even wearing a mask. Mm-hmm. You know, you walk into the grocery store and just walk around and be yourself. And
yeah.
They know it's a fucking...
Go about it at your own risk, you know?
Yeah.
That's it.
Isn't that my freedom? Isn't that what my freedom is for? Is to choose what if I want to go and say I want to go spearfishing out in the Gulf, right? And I want to have a bag of chum tied to my waist, and a shark comes and fucking eats me. Is that not my goddamn right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being stupid is not the government's decision.
It's the problem that's
obviously
only your responsibility for your death.
So, being in the city, how have you seen firsthand how this shit's affecting everything?
I mean, it completely shut down the tourism industry, 100%. And I've seen, you know, people freak out about wearing masks in gas stations randomly. For vast majority of people, they always wear masks. If not, they'll just wear them like just covering their mouth, not their nose, something like that. The only reason I'm mindful is because I'm in the tourism industry now. So we're, you know, 100% regulated. We have all our protocols we have to follow. So I'm more conscious about it. And I mean, that's pretty much what I've seen. Everything when I was in the city and they completely shut it down was after the LaToya, who's, I'm going on record and say the worst mayor we've had in a long time.
LaToya, the Destroyer.
The Destroyer. We need Godzilla. We need Godzilla to come save us here in New Orleans.
Well, good thing we're friends with Godzilla. And so how long have you been in the tourism industry?
For the past about, 4 years now.
Okay. And what do you do?
Do you like it?
Tour guide. I love it. Absolutely love it.
No shit.
Yeah. I never thought I would like something the way I like giving tours. Not just like at a random plantation on in the World War II Museum, really just walking around the French Quarter, and then when I'll have my friends come from out of state or out of country sometimes before COVID, I give them tours. They were into it, you know, but we make it like bar hops and stuff like that. It wouldn't be like, this architecture is postmodern Spanish, you know, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the ones that you want to go back
there's where
on.
there used to be a statue, but then someone got pissed.
The ones you actually want to go on.
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Cool. So I'm sure you've met some serious characters doing those.
I mean, literally, I'll talk about everything in Louisiana history. Its darkest moments and its shining moments. And I've literally heard as many different varieties of questions. I've just come across so many people. And that's the reason why I like, you know, what I do is I get to meet people from all over the world, you know, and listen to their culture, their language. I try to learn as much greetings in different languages as I could whenever I had more people to just, you know, enhance their experience in a way. Just say, hey, you know, I recognize your language and your culture in a way that's, you know, listen to mine now because you're here. And for the vast majority of them, they had no idea what life was like down here. They thought they would just go into a regular old American city, you know, and it was shocking to them to see like, oh, it's like in different places in America, you know. Yeah, we're different. We're not the same. We're not American in that sense,
right?
In terms of culture.
I mean, if you want to think about it, in the early 1900s, there were more Sicilians in New Orleans than any other nationality or culture was the Italians and the Sicilians. Have you ever heard the story of the Axemen?
Oh, 100%.
So I was kind of looking into this story, and I thought that's a cool ass story. I think the funny thing is that they call him the Axeman, and they only use an axe like once, man. Like one time was a lamp, the other time was like, you know. But
the lampsman doesn't have that ring,
right? And this is post 2020 America, so we don't even know if it was a man. You know, it could have been a lady.
Yeah, you're right.
The
Absolutely.
ex-lady.
Right.
No, I actually in the
the axe non-binary.
the axe
person.
non-binary.
See, doesn't grab me, you know? Like,
The axe non-binary got me. I was
actually, that sounds pretty fucking scary.
That sounds like a country band.
I don't know.
I wrote, we have an episode in Louisiana Dread about the Axeman, and I was just doing research for it. And I thought it was funny, too, that he only used an axe maybe once or twice,
Yeah.
and he sneaks in, and he only killed, like, there was a record, like, 19 deaths and stuff. You really look into it, it was only 6 people that died, but it wasn't even at that time.
He wasn't really good at killing.
No, he was awful. The worst demon ever.
He or she was not. He more bludgeoned people and was just. But this is how mad do you have to be? You ever walked into an Olive Garden and immediately dipped your breadstick in that fucking sauce and wanted to hit somebody? No, like how do you hate Italian people?
Even scarier if he was bad at it.
Yeah.
I would rather someone efficient.
Right. Make it quick.
Well, the thing is, we had more Italian and Sicilians than New York had. Easily at the time.
And they were flocking here because they're
100%.
making fucking money.
Exactly. And at the same time, the whole mafia started in New Orleans before New York. So immediately when all these axe murders started happening, they said, oh, easily, it's Italians.
So you think the mafia in New Orleans had anything to do with what Jean Lafitte was doing? Like they just heard that the game was good, or like how did that even start?
I think the reason Jean Lafitte got and did the things that he did and how successful he was at what he did just was a testament to what the Italians can do, because Louisiana is just there. You know, it has so much potential already that they didn't necessarily know who Jean Lafitte was per se, but when they got here, they realized the potential it had,
They
just like
realized
he
the
did.
prosperity of the area.
He capitalized on what they also capitalized, not knowing anything about each other, and just like we should do.
And as far as the size of New Orleans, as far as, square footage, if you really look at the downtown area, it's a relatively small city.
Oh, yeah.
I've been all over the country, and I've been to most major cities in the states that I've been to, and I've had people that I know from Canada who have come to visit, family members, bring them to the city, and they're like, oh, man, I'm from Vancouver. We're from this huge fucking city,
Yeah.
Look how... And you know what I tell them? I said, I guarantee you, because I get defensive about it, there's more heritage in a square block of this city than the entire fucking city of Vancouver.
Oh yeah, easily, because that's what in LA they would say the same stuff. Los Angeles is like it's massive. It's like second or first largest city by area and stuff. It's huge, and you're driving through so many different cultures. Little Italy, little Koreatown, all these small little Bangladesh, even all these small cultures in like a big grid pattern. That's not culture. That's individual cultures.
But how is that still not segregation? Okay, it's still not a melting pot of everybody on top of each other like it is in the South. If you got to go to Chinatown and then go to Little Italy because that's where they all are, to me, that's segregation. That is not what they're fighting for.
But in the same sense, it's like you gravitate towards who you have in common with. So like if we were just kind of thrown into that area, I tried to find people who were like-minded as me, who were kind of like me. It was hard to come by, especially out there in the swamp that is LA, which is, pun. But basically, you kind of gravitate towards people who are like-minded as you, because 9 out of 10 times they face the same struggles as you, regardless of what kind of ethnicity or race you are.
Yeah, it's human nature to segregate yourself. into what you're familiar with.
That's all right. If you want to segregate yourself, that's fine. But then you can't be yelled at for being bigoted when you're segregating yourself. So you can't still yell back at the same thing, and that's what's happening.
Yeah, but that's the fun thing. You can.
You can, especially when you're talking to yourself in the fucking car.
I like just kind of have that solid base and a solid foundation. That's kind of what I was looking for too, to have that, that cushion of Cajun. And so many of my friends were able to send me some care packages of grits. Fucking grits. You have to murder somebody to find grits in Los Angeles. And then Zapp's potato chips. I got care packages from that, and getting that bit of home, and then putting Mardi Gras beads up, and nobody else had some. They all going to work.
Yeah,
I take off on that day. It's a religious holiday,
They're like, what the fuck?
What is this guy doing? And I come back all, my eyes all crossed, still
and the
red.
ashes on the head.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Yeah.
You put out the joint, sign across, ash on the head, call it a day.
Go to work the next morning, my eyes all glossed over still.
Yo, dude, it's Ash Wednesday.
I look like crazy eyes from Mr. D's next morning. It'll work.
So speaking of Mardi Gras and you being in the tourism industry, what's gonna happen this year?
Not a goddamn thing.
No, there's so many different theories to that
you
people
think
are throwing.
Latoya's gonna shut it down?
She's gonna ride in on a white horse and just act like death.
That's
the figure of
racist,
death.
man. If she rides a white horse, I'm gonna go fucking pick it.
The death pale horse and the rider.
Apocalypse ponies?
It's in the apocalypse pony. Yeah, she's gonna come in and she's like, nope, none.
And okay,
but they're trying. They mentioned parades or Mardi Gras in the park, like they do for Christmas in the Oaks. Yeah, Mardi Gras in the Oaks. That they put all the floats lined up along the way, and you just drive through and see.
My ex-wife just moved back from Tennessee. She says, I'm taking the kids to go to Christmas in the Oaks. And I said, it's really cool because they have huge 100-foot by 100-foot squares of visqueen in front of all of the Christmas lights.
It's so pretty. It's so pretty. I love when the visqueen
they have 300
gleams.
Mexicans that run around with fucking Clorox wipes and they wipe them down as the people drive by. No. But Kyle, thank you so much for coming on, dude. You're welcome back any fucking time, dude. It's been a blast.
Amazing, bro.
We get super amped when we have guests on the show, and you're definitely right up there and the top ones that we've had. So thank you for your time, man. And go ahead and plug your channel, man. Let them y'all got to go check it out. It's super awesome, and we're gonna keep supporting Kyle, and we're gonna just keep bringing our community together. That's what we're going to do, and we're going to keep growing this thing. So where you at?
Oh, I appreciate that. Really. It means a lot. And I was a fan before. So, I appreciate being on here. You can follow me at Crosby50, but go follow Louisiana Dread. It's at Louisiana.Dread on Instagram. On Facebook, it's just Louisiana Dread. But also, you have like a horror story or anything that's like some kind of folklore type or any kind of creature thing that's going on, any type of cryptid mythology, go to louisianadread.com, and we have a section that you could submit your own horror story. And chances are we can make that into an episode, one day. And we have a GoFundMe page and also Cash App, all that kind of stuff that you could donate to, but you can just slide in our DMs at Louisiana.Dread, and we can all set you up with that.
Awesome, man.
Don't stop doing what you're doing, brother. Don't stop doing what you're doing, because it's awesome.
For sure, Kyle, man. It was a pleasure having you. Y'all go check that shit out. Louisiana Dread.